Peace. What's good? It's your boy, Sincere Seven, coming to you live and direct from the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit, representing the House of Genesis. Just sitting here with my oldest son. Say, what up, son?
Peace.
So, we sitting here chopping it up, talking about the parasympathetic responses, the fight, flight, freeze, and he made it clear that he was not aware of the fourth one. Now, what we doing basically, we just came back from the Goddess Healing Shack off 6 Mile and got all the ingredients for the pad tea. I'm excited as hell. It's been since I was in Florida over a year ago since I had some pad tea. So to finally have all the ingredients and a new addition to the actual tea. What you think? What's up? What you think about the pad tea? I wish I would have got your response when you first sipped it. I was like, damn, I should have had that on camera.
It's something real familiar in there. It's either the chamomile or the mullein. Like that first taste when you sip it, it's real familiar with some tea I've been sipping. And then it got, I think it's the cherry skins. That's the fruity aftertaste.
Okay.
Good as shit.
Okay, yeah, them coffee cherry skins definitely added a frequency to it that wasn't there before. That light, fruity, cherry type of flavor. It's not even a cherry flavor. But it is a light, fruity flavor. That chamomile, I think, is what's standing out. That cinnamon definitely stand out. That raspberry leaf, if you got a trained palate, you might be. The mullein, I don't think we can taste that. And the Padiaco and the Blue Vervain, I did a perfect amount, like not too heavy. Because if you go too heavy on those, it can make your tea taste real medicine-y. And as medicine men, we still drink it anyway. Right. But we do appreciate when the palate appreciates the tea. But yeah, so I dropped the video, right? Delicious, right? I dropped the video today earlier. If you want to know what's in the pad tea, and I left the address for the Goddess Herbal Shack on 6 Mile, in case you wanted to pull up and actually purchase. Yeah. Shout out to I think her Facebook name is Mashi. Shout out to Mashi on 6 Mile with the herbs. I've been rocking with her shit. Years. So we was in there getting the herbs. My babies was over there playing with stones and crystals and things, right? So my son and man, like we always do, we go somewhere, he peeps and books, like, hold on. Got to looking. So, I was late to the party. I pull up behind him. What you looking at? He done pulled this joint off the bookshelf. Jewel. I'm like, oh, immediately. Wait a minute. We looking at each other like, who gonna buy it? Y'all know that clip of Puffy and the nigga on stage and the Puffy looking at him and he looking at Puffy. Yeah, we ain't supposed to use Puffy anymore in examples, but fuck that. It's still a funny clip. So we looking at each other like that, like, and I'm remembering, oh shit, this boy get money. I forget, like this boy, it ain't like, hey, dad, you'll buy this. So now it's a competition. Like, you about to buy that? Shit. Well, hold on, look, you know what I mean? So we ended up going halvesies because neither one of us wanted to fight, but we both wanted the book. So we went halvesies on it. So we just sitting here chopping it up about the book and things like that. And he brought forth the parasympathetic responses that we go through when we face challenges. And the ones that we all know about, the two that's all know about is fight or flight, right? We all know that, usually in a response, you're going to fight or you're going to get the fuck on. Fight or flight, right? And then he spoke on another one that was in there. Was it in there?
Freeze.
Which is the freeze, where some people just, right? And then I asked him if he was familiar with the fourth one, right? Which is fawn. And fawning is where you try to please and appease to the person who is traumatizing you, the person who's triggering you, the person who is putting this state of fear or anxiety or whatever emotions might come up through the interactions. So yeah, we were just sitting here kicking it, and so I decided to hop on the live with it, just kick it with my weebles, man. I'm very, very happy to be drinking the pad tea again. For those who know, y'all know it's a total vibe, it's a total frequency. It feels good, it's healthy, all of these different things. And then for those who don't know, well, all those things I just said. you know. So yeah, so today's cool day. I ain't really get on to drop a whole lot of science or nothing. What's the name of this book? The Illustrated Encyclopedia of Healing Remedies. Jewel. Got that up there at the Goddess Herb Shack on 6 Mile. It's right down the street from Marygrove College. Hey, that John is a jewel. I'm talking about. He goes into quite a few things. Every page has 30, 40, 50 things going on it. So yeah, both of us being healers, we both had to lean into that and grab that. So the conversation. What was the conversation?
Fight, flight, freeze.
And you were saying, do they come from? Oh, right. Go ahead, run it. I know you don't be all on the camera talking shit. Go ahead.
I was reading it, and it was talking about, the psychological aspect of healing. It's not just about the body; it's about how the mind connects to the body, and all that. So it started bringing up fight, flight, or freeze. And it was talking about it, and at the end of the paragraph, it said something along the lines of, and this is a positive, useful tool for some stress. Fight, flight, and freeze, or whatever. And I got to thinking about it on my own, and I kind of walked down the hallway of thoughts and got to the question of, is fight, flight, freeze, and fawn? Well, really, before the conversation, I didn't know about fawn. I only knew about fight, flight, or freeze. So the question was, is fight, flight, and freeze rooted in your level of confidence?
Mm.
And
and the other part was about at a young age.
Yes. And then we got to talking, and then I pointed out that it seemed to me that now fight, flight, freeze, and fawn is rooted in your adolescence and how crucial that was to you as a child, and that formed your way of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn.
Mm-hmm. Right, and that's where you came into some question about I came to explaining that's where what we do at the Psychonaut Academy in Detroit in dealing with that part of healing.
Yes.
Because healing is a totality, a multifaceted thing. So it's not just healing the physical body, but also the mind, the mental, the emotional. And so yeah, I want to touch on that a little bit. But before we do, I want to ask you, what is your parasympathetic response, do you think? Fight. Okay. So you asked the question and made the presentation of these things coming from situations as a youth.
Yeah.
Of your father. So I've been around you a little bit, right? So are people to assume that because that's your response, that you came from a life of trauma and being beat on and having to fight back or things like that? Is that how that came up? Or how would you explain that fight became? Because I'm going to tell you, I have my own. In my mind, I have my own breakdown of exactly how I see it. But I want to know how you see it. And then I'll give how I see it. Right? How do you think you came upon being that's your response to?
So actually, of course, with all the new information, this is a new thought.
Okay.
So I ain't really had time to think about all that. So I
Okay.
just flashed through it while you were asking me the question. And I can't really think of one or two big things that was like, yeah, that's the reason why I fight. I don't feel like I have a specific reason.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I shouldn't have projected when I started. I should have just been like, where do you think it came from? Because I projected that it must come from having to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like also Color Purple. All my life. I had to fight. Right? But I'm gonna tell you what I think. I think that, let me go through these responses first. I think that flight, to run away, is, like you said, lacks confidence, speaks on a lot of fear, and a escape in totality. Okay? So that's the flight. And I see that being formed by things that have happened that people feel like they need to get away from, because even if they fought, they might end up being hurt. No matter what, this is detrimental, and I need by all means, at all costs, to get away. That's the flight.
I can see that.
The freeze is, I believe that the traumas that I'm going through are self-induced. And so if I stop doing anything, then everything will stop. And I think that I have put that onto a couple of my children at a point in time, because it starts yelling, and it's like, okay, if I stop, you'll stop yelling. Okay, if I just, so when I start yelling, freeze, just don't do shit. Whatever I was doing, let me figure out what I was doing wrong, because he going off, and I ain't even sure what the fuck he mad about yet, so don't do nothing until I find out. Because if I'm walking on the carpet, then if I'm walking, I'm fucking up. If I'm talking too loud and I respond, I'm fucking, so let me just be quiet, just freeze, right? So it's not so much as comes from a violent place, because that will cause you to flee, but it caused a mentally or emotionally triggering place. The response of fighting, you asked about confidence. I think that comes from a confidence, because and so for you to embody that, it's like, I'm not scared. I'm fighting fear of anything. I'm not scared. I'm not going to run, and I'm not going to allow myself to be victimized, villainized, or hurt. I'm going to, my environment or my upbringing has allowed and required for me to protect myself. So that's why you have that. You've always had the patience and the ability to really sit and think through things. And if something keeps coming at you, I've never been like that. Your parents have never been like that. So anything that's coming at you in a violent way is a threat, and you have always had the ability, and like my father promotes me to protect myself. I promote you. If I swing at you, you better be blocking it coming back. And if you do, yo, good shit. If you don't, you just got punched in the face. You know what I'm saying? But if you actually block that and hit me, you actually get rewarded. So fighting is not only going to solve your problem, but also probably put you in a state of, yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying? We both get that from the same place, which is why we invite fight. We it's like, it's almost like you're giving me the opportunity to be put on a pedestal, because I'm about to fuck you up. That's gonna happen. And then the fact that we even had to fight meant you definitely started this, because I don't be fucking with people. So you are comfortable, and so that is a response, you know. And the fawning is when usually you are around your threat or the person that's violating you or triggering you or whatever a lot. And it don't make sense to run, because you still got to come back. It don't make sense to fight, because you're going to get beat up and you're going to get... So instead, freezing ain't going to do shit, because that's cool. Because I'm going to tell you, fawning and freezing are two of the worst ones. Because if you run away, cool, you ain't gonna get violated. If you fight back, a lot of times, cool, them motherfuckers weren't trying to fight, they thought you was weak. But if you freeze and they keep doing whatever they're doing, there's nothing you can do about it. But when you fawn, this is where people will say they were okay with it. You've heard, you might not have heard, but I've heard a lot of stories where women weren't forced, but they were put in a position where they couldn't leave, and the person just kept and kept and kept, and they was like, all right, fuck it, just so I can get the fuck out of here. And so they fawned. They just kind of gave in. They did whatever would please that person. And that's why that can be one of the most dangerous. But that usually comes from somebody who was in a childhood around an abuser. Because they know, oh shit, daddy coming home, he gonna be drunk. When he come in, let me give him some food. They be like, oh, you're so mature for your age. That is a lot of times something to be like, wait a minute, yeah, why? You know, you are mature for your age. And we've had the conversation, come to find out, the reason you are mature for your age, all the time I thought it was just, you know, oh yeah, he did. Come to find out through conversations, you were kind of put in that position and fawned into it. You fawned. You didn't say, hey, yeah, I'm responsible, but I'm still a kid, so You didn't fight it. You didn't freeze like nothing. You know what I'm saying? You didn't flight. You didn't go nowhere. But you was just kind of like, all right, yeah, I'll start being responsible. I'll start being done. I'll start doing all right. And it was like, okay. And so in that manner, because, you know, me being trauma-informed and having conversations, we was able to have that conversation. But I would have never realized if not. I would have always just been like, oh, my son, no, he ain't been that way. You put him in a situation to where he just went with it for more comfort. That's fawning. And again, that's why it's one of the most dangerous, because this is where you have those people who will be like, no, it was cool. They was all right with it. They want, like, no, they weren't. They just went with it because that's their trauma response. That's their parasympathetic response. They ain't going to run. They're not going to fight you, and they're not going to freeze. They just feel like, okay, let me do whatever I need to do to appease you, to please you, and to make you allow me to get the fuck from around here. Or just be in the environment comfortable. Like we said about those children with those abusive parents or abusive environments where they try to just do everything right so they don't get beat. And then if they do, they blame it on themselves. That's where you'll find a lot of just women in abuse. No, it was my fault. He was asleep and I was walking and I dropped the glass and woke him up and he's under a lot of stress because, baby, I'm sorry, I'm going to make you something to eat. She's fawning all day. She's fawning all day. You know what I'm saying? And this is horrible because, again, it gives off, they say, if you are quiet when they abuse you, they'll tell people you liked it. I thought that was such a powerful statement. I know I'm fucking it up. I know I'm fucking up the quote. Because I believe it was one of the famous female poets or something like that who, so it's a really deep quote, but that's the gist of it. If you be quiet while they violate you or while they doing you wrong, they'll say that you was okay with it, you know? So it's very important to look at these trauma responses and, hold on, listen. If you're a parent, watch your children and be cautious. Don't be the reason they need trauma. Don't be the reason they need counseling in their adulthood. Watch your children. I watch when I talk to them. If I start to see a lot of fleeing, right? Remember, Zayar would get mad and just run out the room. And I had this, come here. No, you ain't got to run away. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? You can tell me how you feel, right? When you get the freezing where they just stand there and just, right? No, use your words. It's okay. You can communicate, right? You want to coach them out of that. You want, if they're feeling trauma from, you want to coach them out of that and get them back into the feeling of comfort and understanding, these different flows of energy that they're going through, because that's truly what it is. And even on the fawning thing, You know what I'm saying? Watch for the fawning. You don't want that. At first you might not recognize it. You know what I'm saying? You might not recognize it. If your children are walking around telling the other children, hold on, y'all, be quiet, baby trying to take a nap, or daddy trying to take a nap. Come on, let's sit down. If you see them do, you might think, oh, very good job, this and that. But be cautious of fawning. It might be fawning. You know, so, and of course, fighting. I just got word that baby 7 is oh, you heard? Yeah, gave the business to the little girl over at my house because the girl broke one of the knives in the kitchen set, and she came over and told her mom, I accidentally broke the knife, and I guess baby 7 heard it when she said it and came over there and kicked her. And then she said for the rest of the day she just kept trying to beat the girl up. And I'm like, she said she actually had to take her out of the room. So it's like, okay, we definitely got to do some work with you, and you're not allowed to blow my candle out. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here trying to make sure that my girls can protect themselves just as much as my boys. I hate it's like, oh yeah, my son gonna learn martial arts. You go play with your dolls. No. Let me teach you how to blow out some candles too. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know she was gonna go to school like, yo, what you mean? What? I'll blow your candles out. Like, no, that's not why you. Okay, how do I balance this? I'm gonna figure it out. But you know, we gotta watch him, y'all. We gotta watch him. You know, but yeah, watch these responses to, you know, the triggers. Again, you want to be your children's safe space. You know what I'm saying? You want them to be comfortable expressing themselves. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we take that away from them a lot. You know what I'm saying? Yo, peace, Tish, JT, I see you. Yo, Yami. Yeah. Learn me something. Yeah, so you know, we just wanted to hop on and just share some of the little things, like we said, having some pad tea. That was really the start of the day, the pad tea. But also to come and have some conversation. And yes, I did add some of the product of the week from last week, the coffee cherry skins, into the tea. And that flavor is immaculate. Yeah. Yo, this is the highest amount of antioxidants that we can damn near get on the planet. I think, you know what I'm saying? I think as far as food substances goes. So this is definitely going to be a part of the tea from now on. So now there is officially 9 ingredients in the pad tea. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the coffee cherry skins, the blue lotus. Shout out to the lavender. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the blue vervain. We dealing with some chakra heavy energy in this joint, but we do got some red raspberry. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the womb work for the women. It's a dope tea. But yeah, man. Anything else? Oh, I'm gonna tell you what you did. Okay, I ain't even gonna look in there. Did you see what was right next to what you was reading about? The first psychological part of healing. Did you see
the mind and body part?
Yep.
Did I see
the part that you was reading? It was a section. Did you notice what was right next to it? It was my favorite one.
What was it about?
Placebo.
Yes, I read that. Hell yeah.
Placebo.
Hell yeah. It was talking about how they do the clinical trials and they do a double blind procedure. And one pill is the actual medicine and one pill is the placebo. Because if you just tell them, you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
They might just say that it worked because you told them it would do this and this, and their mind tricked them to believe it, and their body worked itself out. You know, hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay. And what's funny is I just spoke on that in a live the other day and explained do you know what the opposite of that is?
No.
Do y'all know what the opposite of placebo is? I'm gonna give y'all a second. If y'all know, type 1. If you don't, type 0. Yeah. See, let me go on because I can't see all the comments. So I gotta go on here to see the comments from this page. So give me 1 second. Let me see if anybody is commenting on the opposite of placebo. Comments from this. All right, no. So the opposite of placebo is nocebo. That's what it's called. And what it is you don't believe the shit works. You know who Pebbles is?
Yeah.
Who is Pebbles?
Pebbles, she had the cancer, huh?
Okay, and what happened after she had
And
cancer?
she was cured through the venoms and plus.
Okay, so she came to us and did snake venoms and Cambo, went back and was cancer free. Okay, she had excellent placebo. Okay, she's like, when I told her, she was like, that makes sense. Hell yeah, I'm with that. I can see. And the whole way going through, she's saying, yo, it's working. Da, da, da. We know I've had my own lump, utilized the venoms, got rid of it. We've seen numerous testimonials of people with, right? So if a person came and they have an ailment, and we know that we gave 7 people the same ailment, this venom, we know this venom can do what we say, right? And we tell this person, all right, we're going to start you on the venoms. You know what I'm saying? It's only going to take about 3 or 4. And we give them the venoms, okay? They get in the car with their mate, their friend, whoever, on the way home. And they say, yo, so what's going on with that venom shit? And they say, man, this is some old weird shit. Man, motherfucker, like, he a shaman or some shit. You know, they be doing that weird shit. That shit ain't finna work.
What's it called?
Nocebo. His nocebo is in full effect. And now, the medicine was working. And when he said, man, that shit ain't gonna work, his cells started to reject the healing. His words, his vibration, his belief. Because you can only tell the universe one thing, whatever you want. And it's only gonna respond by saying, you're right. You're right. Yo, this shit gonna work. You right. Yo, I'm the shit. You right. How you think Kanye West got to where he was? Nigga, he believed that shit. You can tell. How you think I got where I'm at? Bullshit. I believe that shit. Why? I live it. Right? So people who be like, yeah, man, you know, I'm gonna be a ball player one day. I'm gonna be in the NBA and shit. And he don't got no confidence in himself. He be at the crib like, he really don't believe it. There's no SIBO. So when he's practicing, he's not really putting in 100%. Right. When he's doing anything he's doing that's connected to that, he's not, because he's already convinced himself, he's convinced his muscles, he's convinced his body, his mind, all of that. It's the same thing with healing. When people be like, it ain't gonna work. All right, you right.
Hey,
yes. Somebody's here? Okay. So with that being said, make sure your placebo is on point. All right? Tell somebody you love them.
In a language they can understand.
Peace.